Good afternoon, thanks for joining us. Today we're at the Barnet Marine Park. A century ago, this was the site of a former bustling logging town, and today you can still see fingerprints that remain. Let's go and explore. In 1889, the North Pacific Lumber Company built a mill at the site of a new CPR station. David McLaren, the owner, named it Barnet after his wife's family name. The Barnet Mill began operations in 1900, processing logs that floated down the Burnaby Inlet. A settlement began to grow around the mill, and by 1910, 350 residents were living in the Village of Barnet. Then, right before midnight on May 5th, 1909, the Barnet Mill caught fire and was quickly engulfed in flames. 2 fire engines were sent out to Barnet on a flat car from Vancouver, but there was no hope of saving the mill. They were only able to help contain the blaze. The only things that survived the fire were the dry kilns and the piled lumber. 4 boxcars, as well as the mill itself, were destroyed. The mill was rebuilt, but the Great Depression ended Barnet's prosperity, and the mill closed again in 1931. It reopened in 1939 as the Kapoor Sawmill and operated until 1947, when it was struck by disaster once again. Another fire caused $500,000 worth of damage to the property. There were plans to return the mill to its former glory, but they never materialized, and the town began to fade. The mill site became inactive except for a sand and gravel storage area that was used by the Cask brothers, and in 1972 the family sold the property to the municipality of Burnaby, who later turned it into the Barnet Marine Park. Today, only a few traces of the Barnet Mill and the town of Barnet remain. This foundation used to support the large smokestack, which contained a raging fire used to dispose of waste materials and sawdust from the mill. This section of the beach is very cool. It's covered in discarded bricks from the old mill. Looking a little closer, I see that the brickwork was provided by the nearby company town of Clayburn. And along the shoreline, there are several sets of old pilings that once supported the buildings that stretched out over the water. Today, the park is a scenic setting for a walk or a family picnic. And you might be lucky enough to see some wildlife like this beautiful great blue heron. Thanks for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed finding out a little bit about the Barnet Marine Park. Remember to hit subscribe so you can stay up to date on all our latest adventures, and check out our interactive map to see all the cool places that we've already been to. Until next time, it's time to exit through the gift shop.